As we all know, the Kardashians are about to have their last season. I don't know what your opinions on that, but it's time for them to go, and I think you can replace them. So,
Yeah, let's do it. I take the check. I take the
yes.
exposure. I take the TV show.
Today's episode is brought to you by Out of Office Roasters. Please support this up and coming Asian American ran coffee roaster line by visiting www.outofofficeroasters.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Adrian Pangilinan here again, and welcome back to Soul Supremacy, where we talk about all things unapologetic, all things passion, and in pursuit of. Okay, so we made it to episode 12, I believe, of the series. And if you've been tuning in, thank you and welcome back. And if it's your first time, thank you again for joining us. And we truly hope that you really are able to get something out of today's episode, in which I know you will, because for today we have the awesome Donte Palmer, all the way from Florida, right? Florida?
Yes, Florida. Correct. That's correct. Yes,
How
sir.
are you? How are you
I'm
doing
doing
today?
good. Just living in Florida life. I mean, I don't know. You said you're from California, so I know you get some good weather, so we can
Yeah.
we can relate to that. So I think we're about 75 degrees today. Not complaining.
Mm,
Just had a long day of work. Just happy being a
mm,
husband, a father, an individual. So
yeah,
I'm living life today. So thank you for having me.
you're welcome. Okay, so just a little intro about Dante Palmer. Dante M. Palmer, excuse me, is he is a public figure, a husband and father, self-published author, filmmaker, a TEDx speaker. So you're
Yes,
actually
yes,
the
yes.
yeah, so you're actually the second TEDx speaker that I know. I know of the first person, excuse me, the first person that I know is someone that I went to school with, and
Okay.
that's awesome. And you can he is seen in Black AF Netflix. Is that how you say it, or do you actually say
Black.
the whole thing?
No, that's Black AF.
Black AF. Okay, no, I
Yeah.
read it last and I was like, I think it's Black AF
Yeah, that's
on
it.
Netflix. Um, he's been featured in Forbes, Parents, and many more. And he is also the founder of the movement called Squad for Change.
Squad for change. That's correct. Yes, that's
Yeah,
correct.
that's so awesome. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank
No,
you.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Just a little backstory to actually how Dante and I actually crossed paths,
Yeah.
and I mentioned this in the last episode with Isabel Holado, our fashion designer here in California, was through Clubhouse.
Yes. A new app that I just got 2 weeks ago, and I've just been networking, using it to my advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Reaching out to people who have podcasts. I don't care how small or large it is. I have a story that resonates with parents on every platform. So my goal is to really try to seek out as many platforms as I can in the year 2021 to continue to push my story. So
Yeah,
you reached out, and I've responded, and that's why we're here today.
yeah. It's funny because that was actually a while. Well, not too long, but it was a while back, and I remember just kind of passively listening, and then I heard you talk, and like towards the end, I heard you like you were introducing
hmm
yourself, and then I like the last part, I heard you say that you were looking for opportunities to be in a podcast, and I was like,
Yes, go ahead. Absolutely. I mean, I'm open. I'm an open book to everybody. So, like I said, even if you're listening now, you have a podcast. Get the information. I'm pretty sure it'll be listed somewhere. Reach out to me. I'll respond, and we can set it up. So, yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's relatable, approachable. Okay, okay. So actually, before we get started, I have some icebreaker questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so the first one is, what are five facts about you or five
hmm
things about you that people wouldn't normally know from meeting you for the first time?
Wow, that's a good one. 5 facts that people would not know about me. I'm really I'm an aggressive person. I'm really aggressive, but I come off happy, excited, comedic. But I'm aggressive in a sense. Another thing is, I love words of affirmation. I mean, if you tell me how good I
Mm,
look, if you tell me that you're happy with me or proud with me, that really makes me excited. And I don't tell too many people because I don't. It's also as a double edged sword. I don't like praise though. That makes sense. I don't want people to praise me, but I want people to give me small words of
oh, I,
affirmation.
I, I get that actually because from what I'm hearing, it sounds like like words of affirmation is part of your languages of love as
Absolutely,
receiving.
absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
What's
so I
next?
mean, this you don't praise me, but give me a little bit of the come up. Just give me something. Number three, something that people will not know about me when they
Hmm.
first meet me. I love honey buns. I'm a honey bun critic. I tear honey bun up. Um, that's
That's
I'm like
funny.
like I would honey buns or steak. I'll probably pick a honey bun.
Oh,
Number four, um, I am writing a autobiography of my life. So I have a book. No
oh,
one knows about that yet. So actually, the first person I'm
yes,
telling, honestly, on a podcast format, that I'm
yes.
writing a book about my life. That is
You
gonna.
heard it here on my channel. You're
You heard it
exclusive.
here first. You're exclusive.
Exclusive. Yes.
Um, and that's the book. But then also my fifth one is the
Mm,
details in the book. A lot of people don't
mm,
know a lot about my I would say my darkest secrets, but that will be revealed inside the book.
mm,
One of them I can mention. I can mention now that I'm actually so much better from. I was an
mm,
abuser, right? I was an abuser. That's the word I was.
mm.
But that's also being featured in a book about the experiences that other people had to endure dealing with me, and now how I am a different man now, and writing my sorries, my steps of healing. So that'll be all in the book. So that's my five thing. But I think the biggest one is the honey bun. I mean, I love some
The
damn
honey bun.
honey buns.
Well, oh wow. Well, first of all, well, just thank you for your honesty,
Most definitely.
and it's I didn't get a chance to mention this to you earlier, but um, I'm very very honored and grateful to be talking to you, especially coming from a father's perspective. Because
Absolutely.
which I'll tell you in a bit, but it's just like it's fitting. There you go, to be able to have this kind of like
Right.
conversation about this dynamic, basically, to have this dynamic. So I'm super excited for this. Okay, so the next question is morning person or evening person?
Morning person, hands down.
What
Morning.
what time do you wake up?
7 in the morning.
Is it all the time, or is it just kind of
Or, well, it's by force because my oldest son has football practice, so I have to take him to early football practice. So I have to get up because he gets up, so I can take him. But yeah, but the thing is weird though. Is if he has a day where he doesn't go to practice, I'm waking up at 6:30. So
uh,
6:37 is usually when my body wakes up anyway. So
mm,
definitely morning
okay,
person.
nice. Okay, what is your favorite book?
Adventures with Liam and CT. Go order it on Amazon,
Yes,
Walmart.
plug in. You better. Yes.
Yeah, my book, my first published book. That's by far my favorite book now because I mean it's showing my son as a superhero, and I think that's every parent's dream is to encourage and push their kids to be their own superhero. So now my 3-year-old now sees himself in a book, and he thinks he's a superhero. Now there are pros and cons. The pros is that he sees
Yes.
himself as a
Yes.
superhero. The con is he sees himself as a superhero. So he's jumping off counters and refrigerators and he's trying to jump off the car. So he's doing all crazy stuff. But I'm happy that he sees himself featured in a book. So that's my favorite book.
That that is hilarious because well, first of all, I mean it's really about time that we just representation, which
Absolutely.
is really the through line of our conversation here. Which is why when you were talking, I was like, and it's funny because I have been, believe it or not, I have been very selective so far with
Mm-hmm.
the people that I interview because it's my time and energy,
Absolutely.
and I actually haven't even like interviewed my close friends yet, and we're all in the content creation circle. So you can already imagine that that's an
Right.
easy shoe in. But then I
Mm-hmm.
decided to kind of go outside of the circle first and just be like, who do I like who can I specifically like talk to one by one as I build this?
Absolutely.
So
Of
as you
course.
talk, sharing your story, I was like, I'm gonna ask this man over here. If
Let's
he
do it.
says no, oh well.
So you always got to shoot your shot. I mean, there's so many times where I want to interview on this platform or partner with this brand or this
Oh
company, and
yeah,
they
yeah.
say
So what
no.
you're talking
They say no all the time. A lot of times they say, I say I have had a lot of no's, but it's that one yes that changed your life. And so yeah, just keep asking, and the door open
about.
for you. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and also well, also like just sorry, a little segue. I'm the king of segues. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time, but
That's awesome. Let's do it.
tangent. But yeah. So that's really the reason why I decided to do not just do this, but my YouTube channel in general. On the contrary to graduating from college with a degree, I'm gonna go to YouTube and not do the 9 to 5 thing. In which I actually have a question for that about you later, and also realizing that like learning it the hard way that I am meant to create my own doors and open my own doors versus like just kind of knocking and knocking and knocking
Mhm.
and being rejected for so long. I was like, I don't have much time, you know, like I
Right.
don't have much
Absolutely.
time. So then
Absolutely.
I was like, I'm just gonna go create this and see where it goes. And 2 years later, as we're having this conversation, like you were
Congratulations.
thank you. You know, like having conversations like these is really such an evidence of kind of just leaning into your own truth, speaking your truth, and just kind of living by that. And yeah,
That's awesome.
thank you. Okay, next question. Favorite. Oh, wait, no, you did say your favorite food.
Honey buns.
You did. Okay, okay. Um, yes, honey buns. Okay, so my last question is, which is not even on there. That's funny. If you were to have a TikTok dance challenge,
Hmm.
what would the first move look like? Dance move, dance challenge.
My dance challenge will be the June bug challenge.
What is it? Show me. Show us.
Like, uh, I don't know how to do it, but in my mind, it looks right, but I can't do it in
Okay.
real life. But it's a June bug challenge. Um,
Okay.
Now my wife, I would love for her to do the busted challenge for me.
Mm,
That's one. That's the one I would love for her to do for me.
I I I was low key stalking your profile as I was doing my research, and not only is she beautiful,
Thank
you
you.
like all of y'all like your family is so beautiful. I'm like,
Thank you. I
yes,
appreciate it.
family,
Thank you.
yes, family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, real talk over here. As we all know, the Kardashians are about to have their last season. I don't know what your opinions on that, but it's time for them to go, and I think you can replace them. So
Yeah, let's do it. I take the check. I take the
yes,
exposure. I take the TV show. The
E
Palmers will
Network,
definitely do it.
E Network. If y'all are tuning in, come
Yeah,
on,
most definitely.
let's bring in real people,
Real
diverse
people with real
real people
stories.
with real stories.
In the first episode, I'm gonna keep saying it. I'll be sitting at the table eating a honey bun with eggs. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're definitely going to be your sponsors, so
Oh,
that's a
absolutely. I'm gonna try to get a sponsor one day. That would be funny if I actually get a sponsor from them. So I'll be amazed.
the power of the power of
Oh,
words, my friend.
absolutely.
The power
Little
of words.
Debbie's. If you're
Yes.
listening, Little Debbie's, give me that sponsorship.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you really want it bad enough, it'll happen. You'll have a whole bunch of
Absolutely.
honey buns.
Of course.
Okay, Dante. Actually, thank you for asking the first question, but I am interested even more to learn more about who you are as a person. So if you could actually delve more into that, please.
Right. So I think we dive into who I am as a person. I am a loving, fun, comedic person who loves to just interact with family and friends, and just I'm a dancer. Well, I'm not a real dancer. I dad dance, if that makes sense. Um, I love to cook. I have a smoker. I love to cook meats for my family. I just love to. I'll say, I guess, push, provide, and support my family. I'm the type of person that always digs into the future. I'm a futuristic type of guy. I don't like to live for the moment. I like to live for the future, which is a bad thing in a sense, because sometimes you have to really smell the flowers and enjoy where you are now, because tomorrow's not promised, and I have a hard time doing that. But I'm just trying to think about what's ahead of me, and I think that's a good quality in me because I always have something to chase. If you ask any kid who is their favorite idol, who superhero, they probably say Spider Man, Superman. I think I'm my own hero. Who am I 10 years from now? What does that guy look like? So I'm trying to my best to kind of like um, make him happy in a sense. Prove myself to him 10 years from now. Who was, because I know where I was just 2 years ago, and I ain't better now than I was 2 years ago. So now where I am now, how can I be? Who was that guy 5, 10 years from now? So I'm chasing that guy every day to make sure that I make him happy. So that's who I am. Just a guy that just want to push my life to help bring together other people, push theirs as well. So
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You know what? Actually, I myself for a long time have been guilty of really just like so laser focused that I'm
mm-hmm.
like 100 centuries like ahead of the future, you know, versus being
Right.
present, you know, because it does take a certain level of vulnerability to
Mm-hmm.
really be present. Because when you're present, you really have to like feel what you're feeling, and you
Absolutely.
have to be
Absolutely.
able to work through that, so then you can actually move forward. Like
Absolutely.
all together.
I
You know.
agree. So that's the thing. I just work every day just to live my life better in the future. So what am I doing
Mm.
now to sort of add the roots or the seeds that spring out as a flower
Yes.
5 10 years from now? So
Yeah.
today I'm planting seeds. Tomorrow I'm start watering it, and hopefully 2 or 3 years from now it starts giving me the work that I put into the ground. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No. 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 It does perfectly. Okay, so my next question is, from your perspective. Oh, I mean, I know I already answered it, but I'm gonna ask anyways. So, how did we meet and cross paths?
The app Clubhouse. I wasn't really even interested in the app. A lot of friends like you have to get on it. It's a great way to network and market. So I was like, all right, let me just try it. And the first day, I hated it. I mean, I was going to a lot of rooms called Demon Time and
Mm.
Baddies Only and Only Handsome Men Invited. I'm like, what is
Okay.
this? This is nonsense. It's like a grown as party room. So I was like, you know what? Let me go back the next day and start finding more rooms. I guess those are people I was following, marketing rooms and
Yeah.
brand influence rooms and
Yeah.
this promotes your work here. So I started tapping into these rooms and we went to one room. I forgot the name of it. I think it was
I
Market Yourself, I guess, one of these rooms.
Yeah, something like that.
And
I forgot to actually what room you were
yeah, and I
on.
was on a stage and I spoke on my brand and how I was interested in looking for podcasters to reach out to me, and that's how he met. He reached out, and you were really surprised that I responded.
Yes, I
I'm just
was.
the
I was
type of
like,
person that respond. Well, I try my hardest to respond to every comment, every message, because I know the feeling to try to reach out to somebody and they don't respond back.
yeah.
We are never too good not to respond to a message. Now, if you're like Beyonce, and I'm pretty sure she has a million messages, my thing is try to at least answer 5 of them. I mean, I never have
Mhm.
anybody come to me and say, "Oh my gosh, Beyonce just responded to me, had a conversation with me." I don't see those celebrities doing it. I know it's tough, I know it's hard work, I know it may be draining or straining your life, but my thing is just try, and that's what I do. I just try to respond, and you never know what's in your inbox waiting for you. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to be on this platform. So
Thank you. And also the doors that you're opening up to.
absolutely for other people, because I don't know
Yeah.
where this is going to take you. You know what I mean? This may be an interview that take you to the next level, and I can sit back and say, you know what? I'm happy that I was able to help somebody out. So this is where that's why I do what I do.
Thank you. Okay, so actually, just to are you still on Clubhouse? How has that whole thing worked out for you? And I guess too, like, did you get any more how was your turnout after you did that
So yeah, so I was actually
that
on
spiel?
two other interviewers prior to you, and I have one more.
Oh,
I think in the next 2 weeks. So it worked
nice.
out. Am I still on Clubhouse? I go on every once in a while. I dib and dab out. It's
Mhm.
just I'm just so busy with the work that I have going on now. So when I have some time, I'll tap into it. If I can find a room that I'm interested in, I'll go ahead and get my 2 cents and leave out. But then again, I find myself coming to a lot of rooms of people who say they're professionals, and then once I start doing my research, they're not a professional at all. So I'm really mindful and really cautious and really I'm slow to move when I get information from people
Yeah.
that say they are these experts and they're really not. You know what I mean? Everyone's an expert on social media these days. So that I came to find
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, everyone is. Yes,
Everybody's
and
an
it's
expert somewhere.
yeah, which is fine, but
It's
I think it's
fine.
it's it's fine, but I think what's interesting about the app, the voice over app, Clubhouse. If you're watching this, let's talk, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the second time I've talked about Clubhouse. Um, is that you can really hear like people's sincerity. Like for me personally, I'm not sure about you, but I can feel people's character through their
Yeah.
voice.
Mm-hmm.
So which is even more important because I'm an empath. So it's like when I heard you talk, I was like kind of
Yeah.
like gauging for a while, and then actually when you got to the like when you had wrapped up your whole thing, I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask him. That was like
Yeah,
a
most
solid done
definitely.
deal.
And you have to be really careful what you listen to. Some people have some great advice, some sound advice, and then some people just are out the rocket. And I'm like, yeah, I can't tap into that. And that's
Egos,
when I hit the
yeah.
little button at the bottom that says leave quietly, and that's what I do. Sometimes I want to leave loudly,
I
but
don't mean to. I'm like,
yeah, just
yeah,
leave out because I can't do it.
yeah. Okay, my friend. So my next question for you is, we're actually gonna take this back to your childhood because
Okay,
I love asking this question to everyone.
okay.
So, if you don't mind me asking, I'm curious to see how Dante was like as a kid growing up. And a follow up question is, do you feel like your upbringing has influenced the way you show up for your family now?
Oh hell yeah. As a kid, I had some great experiences and some great moments with my dad and my mom. My mom loved my dad to death. But it was like when I got the age of 8 or 9, there was a sudden switch. We had this always in my mind. I always looked at us as the Cosby family, and
Oh,
sometimes the Cosby family now
I
is the
love the
Cosby
Cosby
word.
Show.
Yeah, the word
Yeah.
Cosby is kind of bad now. It's kind of tainted. But back in the '90s, when we said Bill Cosby, it was like that's the family you need to be. And that's how we were. My mom and dad were married. We have with 5 kids, 5 of us,
Mm,
working hard and just being genuine kids.
mm,
And then we had a pulled into the room. Mom said, her and my dad was getting divorced, and we were just shattered. You know what I mean?
ah,
This is when we started realizing. When I started getting older, started realizing that my dad was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and he was abusive. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I still love my dad. I think every child still have a love for their dad, regardless if they're right or wrong. And that's what I did. So I grew up from 12 to 17, 18, 19 years old, and my dad was out in and out the house. Um, but actually, at one point, he actually did, he left for a while. But that
mm,
affected me as a kid. A kid who was so. We go back to this love language. Where's the affirmation? Looking for people to affirm me, and my dad used to affirm me a lot. So when I
mm,
missed that, I started growing a hate for my dad. I mean,
mm,
I hate this man. Where are you going? What are you doing? So from age all throughout my whole year at college, I just stopped caring for my father. Um, and then I graduated, and my dad didn't come to my graduation, so they kind of like put. And at my point, I'm still saying I hate him verbally, but and as I'm walking on stage, I'm kind of visually trying to look to see if he's there, and he wasn't. So they kind of hit
mm,
me hard again. So when I got older, and so that's who I was. I was as a kid. I was just that kid that was really trying to find my father's love, and I didn't get it like I wanted to. So now you said the question is, did it affect me and make me the man I am today? Absolutely. That's why my boys, I'm there every second of the day. They grow a hair on their chin. I'm gonna be there with a magnifying glass to look at it because I'm so excited that you got a first beard hair. Um, if they tell me something about a girlfriend, I'm like, dude, tell me about it. You know what I mean? And I'm at every practice, every recital they may have, every graduation. I won't miss a damn one because I am now doing something my dad didn't do, and I know how it affects children as they grow up. And I don't want near one of my 3 boys to feel the same hurt I felt growing up. So that's why I'm so animated. That's why my son came to me and said, yeah, you have a YouTube channel already up. You're not posting. Can we just do some videos on there on your platform and do some crazy food combinations? And in my head, I'm like, I hate this idea. I don't want to mix tuna fish and jelly. I don't want to do that. But since
mm,
you think it's a cool idea, you know what? I'm gonna give you the space to go ahead and do it. I'm gonna participate in that, and I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna tell you I hate it. But when we promote this as a family, we're gonna do it together as one body because father and son or mother and daughter or whatever the dynamic is in your household, it matters. And that's what I am now. I lack something, and I'm bringing that same lack that I had in my life and adding it to my boys so they don't have to lack what I lack. So,
mm. Beautiful. I have this question, and I'm a little nervous to ask,
no, ask. I'm
but
transparent.
you know what? Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is literally what I practice in this show, so I'm just gonna go at it. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, what if one day one of your kids, or not even that? Okay, I guess my real question is, what if what if eventually one of them ends up being different than how you expected them to be?
Okay.
I'm curious to see how you would possibly
Well,
feel
the
about
thing
that.
is, and it has happened. Well, even this, we had conversations about family. So let's before I go to the fatherhood part, I would say, even with my siblings, right? People coming out say they are like the same sex or they have relationships with somebody of the same sex.
Hmm.
It hit me hard and affected me because I grew up as a Christian, faith.
Yes.
I'm more of a conservative, I would say. So read what the word says, and that's what it is, right?
Hmm.
And I still stand by that, right?
Hmm.
But
Yes.
my thing is, but my question I always ask myself is, I'm not God. I'm saying, who am I to judge someone else's walk life the way they live, the way they love, what they eat. You know what I mean? If you want to be vegan, if you want to eat keto, if you want to eat chicken and rice every day, that's on you. You know what I mean? I can say eat healthy, but if you don't want to do that, that's on you. I can't push that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I stand at with that. If one of my sons came home and said they were different, I guess one thing, what is different? I mean, we have to, first of all, what does the word different mean, right? But if they came
Mm-hmm.
over and said it was something that I didn't want to raise, I had to sit there and had a hard conversation. What is going on? What is happening? Like what makes you happy? I think at the end of the day, I never want my kids to feel as though I don't support them in anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're happy, and the thing is, I'm not gonna say it's not tough. So we talking about if my oldest son come home and say, Dad, I have a boyfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a tough thing to have. It's gonna be tough for me. I'm gonna be
Yes,
full. I'll be
yeah.
honest. I'll be tough. But
Yes,
I had
yeah.
a conversation like, no, because I'm curious. Why? Who? What? When? Where? How? You know what I'm saying. Was it anything I did? Was it anything I didn't do? Was it something that you experienced? Was it something that you love, that you like? I want to know the full context of it so I
Mm-hmm.
can learn. So now at the end of the day, I can ask those questions and I can be upset and I can sit down with you and have some joyous conversations. But I'm asking these questions in purpose so I can protect you. And when I say by protect is, if someone else come and try to chastise you, I know I can stand in front of you as a parent and I can whoop their ass because no one's going to chastise my children. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you may do like this person, you might like that person, you may want to do this, you may want to be, I'm Christian, you may even want to be Muslim, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm your parent, I'm your guardian. And if someone else got something to say, they got to check me first. They got to come to me first. And then when I come back to you, I can say, we can have a conversation. You know what I mean? This is what's happening because some people in the world may hate you because of these certain things. But the only person you don't have to worry about hating you is me because I'm your dad. And this is your mom. We're going to protect you. We're going to make sure that you're protected. And that's my job. My job is to be a provider, a protector, a pastor, minister, a
Mm-hmm.
dad, whatever. All the titles you want to give a dad to around their children, that's what I want to do. So the first thing I'm gonna do is ask those questions because I want to know so I can learn because I just don't know. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
But then the second thing is now we have to. This is what you want to do. Okay, now it's my job to protect you. Let's take these steps together. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do.
Wow. Thank you.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, I won't be. If I think some people reaction would be is kicked out the house and I have to abandon them and do that. I can't do that because at the end of the day, we are
Mm.
humans. We have emotions. And then I'm going back off my word of saying, my dad left me, and that's what I was looking for. And I'm doing the same thing for my child because it may be a different dynamic. Now he's gonna grow up and say, my dad left me, I hated him, and now I love my dad again because my son don't have to go through that. So, hey, you got experiences. Let me learn. Let's sit down and talk. Let's write it out. Let's talk about it. Let's pray about it. Whatever you want to do, and then
Yes,
yeah, let's let's,
yeah.
let's build a relationship. So let's go.
Wow. Okay.
So that's it. So
Thank
my thing
you.
is, but let my boys be who they are. Um, of course, every parent wants their child to kind of raise them in the guidelines they want to raise them. That's what parents do. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? You want to play football? Like, you know what I mean? I think sometimes parents have these unwanted passions that they didn't do, but now they want their kids to do. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be a basketball player. I just didn't
Mm-hmm.
have it. But now I'm trying to push my sons to play basketball, but they don't like it. So now I'm like, you know what? Why am I pushing my passions on them? Let him go ahead and do what he wants to do. And so
Yeah.
that's what they're doing now. So now, what do you want to do? My one son wants to play soccer. Other one plays football. My baby, he wants to be a gamer. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sit down and support. I'm gonna learn what they're doing, learn their craft, and now I can teach them how to be better at it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
No, yeah, that was really the question that I wanted to ask, just because, I mean, as well, I on my end, I can super relate to that,
Mm,
and without maybe saying too much, but I just do really wish that I'm not always feeling the disappointment. It's like
right.
it's
That's the
it's
best thing.
it's a lot for a person to carry. It's like
Yeah, it's a
when you
lot.
know that, and then at some point, for me personally, I've like internalized it long enough that I started to believe it, and now where I'm at with all of this is learning to unwire. Like I am not other people's perceptions of me,
Mm,
you know. And yeah. So well, actually, the last thing I want to say about that is I think, well, for parents in general, regardless, I think really it seems like the biggest, not goal, but the biggest, I guess, goal really at the end of the day is just to make sure that your kids end up being good kids.
good citizens. My boys, I just want them to grow up. That's my thing is, I tell my boys all the time, I do everything I do so I can get old. So like I said, you guys happily married with children, so I can now not. I don't when I get older. I don't care. When they start having kids, that's the moment I stop caring about them. And that's I say that jokingly. I stop
Oh no,
caring about
no.
y'all. I want my grandbabies. I just want them to grow up, be good citizens, have grandbabies, so I can hold my grandchildren and just love on them. That's what I want.
Mhm.
So just I want them to be older and just successful. That's my goal. If you I had my Instagram page that went
Mhm.
viral. That name was 3boys underscore one goal. I had 3 boys and I had one
Oh.
goal. People say, "What's the one goal?" One goal is for them to be successful in anything they want to do. So that's what I want them to do: just grow up, get old, be successful, and I can sit back and say, "No, I did my damn job and I did it right." So
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and also too, like as we actually just keep on moving in this interview, you are literally showing them by doing, which
absolutely,
is
you have to.
which is so important. It's so important, especially, I mean, like even if you put aside the complexities and the layers of being
Mm-hmm.
a person of color, especially where you live,
Right,
it's just so many things
right,
that can feel
absolutely,
like it can make it harder to just to show up for your kids as you are and to just kind of like let
right, absolutely,
the armor the guard down.
absolutely.
Okay, so my next question is so going back to your Clubhouse introduction, that same one that I was like, hey, I'm gonna interview him. I remember you mentioned that you used to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I am curious, what made you leave that job to pursue uh what you're doing now?
I was actually fired.
Oh no.
I was
I'm
fired,
sorry.
but no, it was good because I was working at a charter school, and this is when Squad for Change went viral. So the next morning, I went to school. I mean, my students was a high school. My students, oh, Mr. Palmer, you're so famous. The
Wait,
principal.
wait. Oh, go ahead,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry,
No,
sorry.
so no.
Wait.
So
So you
go
were
ahead, go ahead.
fired because of it?
I was. So the principal was like, they wanted to, get me to start promoting the school under the Squad for Change umbrella. But I told him, I said, this is my personal life. This is my job. It's my professional life. I can't have both. I can't.
If I mean, if you're gonna give me
I mean,
residuals, we can talk. But
absolutely. And we're going to be bringing media attention to. And this is what it was the height of his career. I mean, Forbes was calling, Washington Post was calling, people
I
showing
saw
up.
it. I
Yeah,
think I saw
showing
it
up to
on
the
the
house.
reel. I was
Yeah,
watching
it
the
was on the
reel.
real. It was on the
Yes,
real.
yeah,
Yeah. So they were like,
the real daytime. Yes,
the
the
real
real
daytime.
daytime.
That's it.
Yes.
So they were like, can you know, put our GoFundMe page, because they had a GoFundMe page, on your Instagram bio so people can start donating money to the school. And I told them, I said I can't. And then the next day they fired me because I didn't want to help with their funding because of the viral sensation. But every blessing, every curse is a blessing. They cussed me out and they pushed me out the door, but it has enhanced me to really start focusing on this campaign, and I really got what I wanted to get done, and I'm here now, and I'm so happy that I was fired. It's funny, I was so happy I was fired. In the moment, I was so stressed out because I wasn't getting money and I wasn't working,
Mm.
but it really pushed me to greatness,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
I'm excited. And I never said this in an interview, so this is the first exclusive too.
Thank you.
Principal Michael LaRoche, thank you for firing me. I appreciate you.
Okay. So the reason why I'm laughing, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing because I think your story is funny. I'm laughing because literally the same thing happened to me. But okay, so on my end, about a year ago, actually, January 21st, I remember the day. I used to be a caregiver for people with special needs. I loved it. I loved it. Just being able to be there for them,
Mm-hmm.
to like kind of fill that void within myself. But let's just say that I was struggling towards the end of it. And super long story short, I had a story too. It started. all of this happened because of a bus pass, and I had lost a bus pass over and over again. My job had given me so many chances. I just knew that they were not. I just knew that they were gonna let me go. I knew they were gonna fire me because I lost that bus pass. Like, I'm clumsy and I'm just like kind of all over the place. So this happened around December, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, oh, Lord have mercy. But I knew they were gonna let me go. So you better believe I jumped the shark before it
Absolutely.
sank.
Yeah, jump. Yeah, take it out. You gotta jump out before they sink you. And that's what happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, I give it all. I give all my credit and success to Principal Michael LaRoche. I appreciate
Yes.
you.
And
So if
for
you're
me, the
watching, right? So
yes.
if Michael, you're watching, thanks, Mike.
Oh no, well, I'll tag him. Be like, hey, here.
Right?
I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah,
I'm just
right.
kidding. But no, yeah. Well, for me, it's thanks to the bus pass because it's just funny because I think I really was asking for a sign. I was like, Lord God, the man above, the person above, whoever's really up there. I'm like, please give me a sign. Please give me
Right.
signs. And I lost the bus pass, and I was like, oh no.
This is it. This is it. This is my sign to get
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Literally, I got off the bus. That's what it was. Okay, so no, actually that's perfect because that does segue me to the next question is so from what you just said, you were let go really because of your because you didn't want to mix
Support
your
their
personal
with my
with
professional life.
professional and personal,
Right.
which at the end of the day sucks. They should have done that to you, but either way, like what you said, it was their loss, not
Right.
yours.
Absolutely.
Um, so my question is, when when was Squad for Change born?
That was born in October of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, October 2017.
Mm.
This was the random time I got fired. And the thing is, we went to a restroom, and my oldest son followed, not knowing we were about to start a global movement. Took the picture, posted on Instagram about 2 weeks later, and it was born. It just the next morning went virtually viral everywhere. It wasn't until we started sitting down, noticing how much attention, how much press we were getting, we sat back and said, "No, let's create a nonprofit called Squat for Change." That's what we did. We started building and started researching how to do nonprofit work. We got
Mm-hmm.
into it, and that's when we started getting brand partnerships like Pampers and celebrities like Jessica Alba and Tyrese and
Yes.
Ti and who else? Lord John Legend.
Yeah, yeah. I saw
Um,
that on
it's a
Google.
lot of celebrities reaching out to just give their support for
Mm,
Squad for Change, and this one was born
mm,
so about in October, about 2.5 years ago. So we're just moving and growing, and we are making it work. So
mm. Nice. I have a follow-up question. So
yep.
so the day that you had like said yes to being in an interview, I was sharing this with my friends, and
Mm-hmm.
granted they're older than me. They were asking why the picture was taken, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's true." I'm curious, why was the
Oh,
picture
so
taken?
so it's simple. I mean, I have Isaiah was third. He's 14 now, so he's 12.
Mm.
We actually went out there to go get his phone fixed.
Ah,
So he hasn't had his cell phone for about 2 or 3 months. It was broken, as I'm not gonna keep paying for this phone to get fixed every time you break it. So we went to family dinner. We were eating. Liam, of course, used the bathroom himself.
mhm.
So it's usually, and I know it's not nothing I was seeking or searching for. I was like, you know what? Chain is typically no chaining tables in restrooms anyway. So I was putting
Yeah.
it at Isaiah so I could hold him. And this was the first time I even did that position. Not one of the first times. I did it multiple
Oh.
times. So when I went to the restroom, threw Liam over my lap, and I'm changing him. Isaiah just thought the oldest son was with me. He's like my diaper assistant. So get pass me the new diaper, pass
Mm.
me some new clothes, those type of things. Or if it's a blowout, I have somebody to help me assist me while I'm in that damn squat position.
Yeah.
So as I'm done and I'm just tightening him up and getting him ready to pull his pants up, Isaiah just pulls his phone out, take a picture. He laughs at it. And at this moment, I didn't even know he took the picture, to be honest with you. It wasn't until we got back to the table, he was like, "Mom, look at Dad changing Liam." And I was like, "All right,
Ah.
cool." And we didn't laugh about it. We didn't have a moment. We didn't say, "Aha, this is the aha moment to go viral."
Mm.
It was just like, "All right, cool, let's eat dinner." We ate. And then it wasn't about 2 weeks later, I was like, "Hey, Isaiah, send me that picture. I just want to post it on Instagram." And that was it. And I posted it, and I got that night got 2 or 3 likes. So I get asked that question a lot, like why was it
Mm.
taken? That
Mhm.
picture was taken because my comedic 12-year-old son at the time, thought it was funny and took a picture of it. And I was like, all right, there we go. So it was nothing more to it. It was just something that we just naturally do. First off, we're content creators, especially my son. He wants to be a photographer. Well, he did at one point want to be a photographer. So that was some just snapping away pictures. He's got so many pictures of his phone. And if I can just post all those pictures and they go viral too, then by all means, let's go do it. But not knowing that this one picture of me changing the sun would change the narrative or spark conversation around the world about fathers and changing diapers.
What was your son's name? The one who took your picture?
Isaiah is the oldest who took the picture. Yeah,
Isaiah, if you're watching this, good job.
He will watch it. He will. He's 14
talking?
now. He's like a 14-year-old football player. So he's like, I don't care. So that's how his attitude is. He's just a teenager. You know how they are. So.
Yep. Actually, as you were sharing that story, the very thing that was coming to my mind is vulnerability,
right,
and the fact that you didn't really give an F about the post. It was just really organic.
It was organic. It was so organic.
It was just in a moment. It came from a place of love, even laughter, and you were like, "Hey, let me." 2 weeks later,
let's go ahead and post it.
Let me show up as I am, and let me just say what's in my heart, and the rest was history.
The rest was history. That's the thing, because I see a lot of people, even some parents, go viral, and I ask when I talk to them, it was staged content. Like, we did this way, and it went viral. I'm like, I can't live my life like that. That's why some people even ask me, why hasn't my following gone up since then? My following has grown over the last 2 years, but some people think I should have 100,000 followers since I'm so known. And that's because I cannot live my life as a content, like a sole scripted content creator. I'm not scripted. I'm not going to say, do this because it's funny and people going to love it. I'm not doing that. We capture authentic content. If it's not there, if it's not funny, then so be it. You know what I mean? I'm going to capture my life, and that's what I did. Isaiah caught a piece of my life that wasn't even meant to be funny, wasn't meant to be captured, but it was captured, and I shared it, and it took off like it did. So,
Yeah. Well, okay, first of all, the fact that happened means that, whether or not you really want to replicate that, but there is something in what happened in there that's like, hey, there is power in vulnerability, there is power in ordinariness, there is power in relatability,
right?
Which kind of like going through your feed, I'm like, you're from looking at your feed, coming from like a social media curator enthusiast, I really get the vibe that you're just very relatable person who's living his everyday life.
Right.
You love your wife. From what I've seen, you really love your wife, which is beautiful because I feel like I love your wife too from seeing that post.
Thank you.
And then your family. And I do think, though, I actually just like a lot of these questions are not part of the interview anymore, but
no, you're good.
If you need help with if you need help with just kind of like managing like how to position yourself on Instagram,
I definitely let you know. We'll talk.
Let's talk. No, because I'm interested because I know that there's a way to, because especially with you, with what you've done, which we'll talk in a second, with what you've done, you've kind of, I guess, also raised your vibration, like your upper limit by so much, so that I feel like it actually does come with a certain responsibility. With you now being a public figure, it does come with a certain responsibility, and it's not to say that like it's not to say that you can't keep posting your like kind of everyday photos, but I think it's just like how you position yourself.
Absolutely.
Where
I agree with that.
Now you're like kind of like your content now matches with where you're at. There you go.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question is can you no, it's funny, I already asked that question. My question over here, it says side question, who took the photo? Okay. Next question. So can you actually then go into full details about your advocacy? Because I know we've kind of discussed why it happened and how it happened, but why is this important?
It's important. I think at times people think I'm just solely out here advocating for changing tables. I think it's so much deeper than installing a plastic product in a restroom to change a diaper. First off, if that's what we're doing, but it also adds value to relationships between mom and daughter, mom and son, dad and daughter, dad and son. Um, it takes that time of changing your child's diaper. It is giving them bonding moments. You know what I mean? That's the time where children, when they're vulnerable at the changing table, getting changed, they feel protected, they feel cared about, they feel secure. They parents over them changing the diaper, singing songs, whatever that looks like, and that child feels comfortable knowing that mom and dad is right there taking care of me. So that's number one. Number two, it's deeper than changing table. We are here trying to change the way the world views dads. I mean, if I could put a campaign in around, I don't know what I would call it, but when dads have children, mom is in the hospital and dad is sitting right there. A ton of nurses come in to give mom pamphlets about breastfeeding and latching and lactation, and this is where you can go for support. And this is a mom's group, and dad is sitting there like, okay, what are we eating for lunch now,
Left
right?
out.
Right,
Yeah.
we're left out. There's no support systems. Like this is a dad group to go attend. This is how you support mom in lactation when a baby won't latch. This is what dad should be doing in that moment. We don't have that. We have to learn all that on our own. So we're just
Mm.
trying to change the narrative of what it means to be a dad in the world. There are present dads who are willing to do anything for their children or the spouse they're with, and we need to start showing that and start highlighting dads in the world, especially dad. I'm only speaking from my experience, especially
Yes. Go. Mhm.
dads of color.
Yes.
We have this bad stereotype that we don't care, we're absent, we're deadbeats, we're murderers, we're rapers, we're drug dealers, we're in jail, we're not in our kids' lives
Everything
anymore.
else, anything
Everything else.
except
And
just being present.
being present. Like this is what I'm trying to show. We are dads, we're active, we're present, we're vulnerable, we'll cry with our children. We have cried, we will cry, we're going to cry more. With our kids, and we love our kids. So that's the story I'm trying to portray. Squad for Change is a campaign that brings parents back into the lives of their children and show the world that we exist and we care. That's it.
Yay! Wow, thank you.
You're
Thank you for
welcome. You're
sharing
welcome.
that. It is really good to hear from you personally. So then that does lead me to my next question, because it's related to it. And
Right.
what are your thoughts on toxic masculinity? Because which is clearly what I feel like you are trying to unwire with this
Mm-hmm.
movement.
Well,
Is that
it's a lot of things that go to toxic masculinity. I think it's I think it's just things. First of all, we have to break those gender roles. So what is masculinity, right? Um, my
true? Yeah,
boys are able to cry, and they won't get ridiculed. They're able to um, love and care and sit down and watch chick flicks. I don't care. Watch the movie. You can learn something from it. It will teach you how to love women more. I don't care. You know what I mean? And I just see a lot of men that are out there trying to teach their kids to be strong and mighty and all these big words. And
hard.
it's not wrong, but
Yeah,
under the same thing, you have to learn how to tone that aggression spirit down to learn
yeah.
how to open yourself up to love and receive. That's my
Mhm.
boys. My boys are strong and they're strong. I mean, they can knock a hammer in, they can knock some nails out, they can help me change my brakes. But guess what? They also know how to cook for their mom. They know how to clean. They know how to give their mom affection and say, "Mom, we love you." Give her a kiss. They know how to
Yeah.
do those things, and they even have those conversations when they get older. This is the things they want to do for their wives or their girlfriends or whoever that person is, and it's just we have to do it. And I have a book called a book of dares that was sent to me. So every day we take a dare out the book and I dare my sons to do things. And it may say, I dare you to go hang with someone that doesn't look like you, or I dare you to, wear a female's jersey today. Like I'm daring them to do things every day so they can learn outside the box to learn how to be a better person. And I think once we lose the word, we kind of focus on toxic masculinity and kind of like figure out what that means, then
Yeah.
we will, as a people, will start growing. Because first off, one thing I have, and I hate when people do, we label everything in these worlds. Everything is a label. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you will never hear me say, well, clear. If I go on a TED talk again or somewhere, and I won't say I'm a black dad. I won't. It's a label because you already know I'm black. And I'm telling you, I'm a dad, right? And I just think when we put these labels on people, that's what you classify that person as. So I think if we just learn how to kind of peel the labels back sometimes, is just see what people who for they are and love that person. That's when I think that people will start really loving. I think that's what we're missing in the world today, just loving and showing your kids how to love. So I hope I answered the question.
No, you did. No, that was great. That was perfect. And actually, what I really appreciated about your perspective was it's not necessarily about removing it, but it's really about just flattening the curve.
Flattening the curve and just explaining
Balance.
it. You
It's
know what I
about
mean?
balance.
It's a
Yeah. No,
balance. I mean, it's okay to have strength and courage and
no,
independence
no.
and
It
leadership
is.
and
Yeah.
assertiveness. It's okay to have all
Yeah.
those things. But my thing is give it like it's like give it a dab of it. Be assertive and be aggressive and have courage. But when someone's in a room with you and they don't feel that same way, learn how to listen and learn how to learn their experience. And that's what we're doing.
Become
Learn
compassionate. Learn how
show
to
be compassionate.
empathy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's funny too because I'm 28, so I'm also like have been working through my own stuff, and I've really come to realize that like like masculinity and energy and masculinity and femininity is an energy.
Hmm.
It's just an energy, but I mean, I guess I also understand too that just by like historical, I guess that certain energies have been predominantly prescribed. So
Right. And then you get like I hear all the time. I think we have to stop as a culture stop doing it. Like if my son was to go outside right now and start dancing to a Beyonce song, then he's classified as being gay or soft. I'm saying, I'm like, dude, my son loves Beyonce. Let me let him dance to it. Or if I have a
yeah,
daughter, she's dancing to NBA YoungBoy, now she's a tomboy. Like, can we stop doing that? Like, why can't people just love what they love without being labeled? And go back to that label
yeah.
thing. It was okay. Just do it. I love one of my favorite songs is what's the name of the song? God damn it, the Dance Monkey. What's her name? Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me. Oh, that song. I love that song. Dance
Okay.
Monkey. And I love it. And no one can judge me. That's my song. That's the song that gets
Yes,
me hype.
that
And
is
if you
your
look
jam.
and if
Yeah.
you look at me and be like, this is a black man, he has tattoos, he should be listening to songs like that, then you're
Oh,
wrong because that's my song. So I just pulled it up. It's Dance Monkey by Tones and I. Look at the song, Dance Monkey by
okay,
Tones and
okay.
I. That's a great song. It gets me dancing. If I hear the song right now, I probably would get up and dance.
It's
That
an
is
old
my
song. Isn't it an old song?
no.
Or is it?
It came out 2019. It just came out.
My bad, never mind.
Yeah, Tones and I is a singer from Australia. You know what I mean? And it
I've
just
heard of
goes.
it, but for some reason I thought it was just like a 70s or never mind.
It's probably a re-edition, but I'm telling you, you heard the song. It
No.
goes. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. Okay. Dante, I am curious. How has your advocacy changed you and your family's life?
Oh, for the better. I think it's to the point where my sons are wanting to advocate. They're now wanting to take charge and take lead. And when I have projects, I put them in position to do it. Because I tell them, you don't have to wait till you're 30. I went viral at 31. You have to wait till you're 31 to change the world. You
Okay.
change the world now. So they are 14, 9, and 3. And my 3-year-old, he was even on a promotion campaign with me with Pampers. He's speaking on a promotion. So you're now changing the world. So you at your age can now see that you're able to change the world. I told Isaiah, my oldest one, by you taking that picture, not knowing that we will go viral, you have now. If it wasn't for you, we would not have the opportunity to spark a conversation like we
Yeah.
did. So
It was
you're
his
very
heart.
important. It was her
It was your
heart. So
son's heart that really
right.
just the
So your
unapologetic.
mind, your eye, your funniness, your comedic side of you took a picture out of fun, out of being trying to be funny, but now you started the conversation around the world and you sparked that. So it really made us grow together as a family, a strong family, and we're bonding and we're still growing. Like the like the ceiling is here, and we're
Mhm.
literally busting through the ceiling
Yeah.
to get more things done. So we're just excited to be in the position we are in now.
Yay. Um, Follow-up question. Have y'all faced any challenges? I'm curious since that
Um,
period.
I won't say challenges. Of course, I said we have had brands say they didn't want to work with us, but I think that comes with the platform we have. I'm never worried about somebody saying no to me because I go
Yeah.
find another brand that say yes. Right. Um, I would say the biggest challenge is we weren't prepared for the
The
negative comments we received, and that
yeah.
was he's a black dad and he probably has drugs in his baby's diaper and
Oh,
his son is too old to be in diapers. And mind you, Liam was only one at the time. He was one, and he's probably autistic, and that's why he's in diapers. And so a lot of things. So I'm like, all right. And his wife
oh,
is lazy and she's selfish, and she should be supporting her husband while he changing diapers. That's a woman's job. So I was like, you know what? And my wife, now she's subject to what's going on. You know what I mean? Not just me. So it hurt my wife a lot to see these comments. So we had to learn how to really tone back our eye of comments and try to find a positive ones and just go through that. And that's what we did. So I guess that was one of the biggest challenges. But we had so many positive things that happened that those negative comments just kind of window away. So we just are like, hey, take it like a grain of salt, push it to the side, and keep moving.
yeah. No, 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 for sure. Because it's almost like crab mentality. Because y'all are like literally like out of the pod, and there are crabs trying to pull you down, and it's
Absolutely,
like nope,
absolutely,
bye.
right.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, we have a couple more questions. So wow, we're actually going through this really. It's going really good. Um, so just like how you decided to show up in the world with your advocacy, um, what are some advices and tips you can give to someone watching or listening?
Pigs, walking down the street with picket signs. I don't care whatever you want to advocate for. That's me
Yeah.
being dramatic, but you fight for it. You go for it. If you believe in it, you make your marketing material. You make shirts. You make websites. You make Instagram accounts. Whatever you do, and just make it visible.
Yeah.
Also, go to those local legislators. Knock on their doors, email them, call them. I don't care if some of these legislators are really really rude. They are rude as hell. But you know what? I don't care about that. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I'm gonna come back Wednesday. I'm gonna come back Friday until you sit down and have a coffee with me because what I have is important. And your job in politics is to listen to the local community. That's what I'm gonna make you do. I'm gonna make you listen to me, and that's what I
Mhm.
do. So I'll advocate for it, just fight for it. But like I said, go back to what I originally said. You stand for what you believe in. You go for it. You will tackle that situation.
Yeah. And also too, isn't that original post that was on your Instagram, right? Like it's still down
Instagram.
there?
Yep. Instagram.
Yeah,
Yep.
so if I'm gonna have this information linked down below, but if y'all check it out right now or after this, look at that post. It's
Mm-hmm.
super like there's no filter. The caption is just very kind of like mundane, but it's just like
Right.
just imagine just him just kind of saying what he needed to say. His son took the photo, not even edited, not even
Right.
cropped well for Instagram or whatever.
No.
It's like
Right. This was just a guideline. Just throw it up there.
the power. It's really the power of influence. There you go.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and actually, you know what? I did have a guest on my show, my good friend, and I found out that he had a pet cow growing up.
See, I love pet cows.
Okay, so we're actually down to the last two questions.
Okay.
Okay, so lastly, you did recently release your recent book called Adventures with Liam and CT.
That's
Please,
correct.
please, please talk about that.
Yeah. So I wanted to start a new transition of my life, and I always wanted to be an author, write a children's book. And I thought it was fitting to, with Squat for Change and advocate for changing tables and kids in diapers. But my son is now transitioning out of diapers. So how do I transition Squat for Change? So advocate for the changing tables, but also now advocate for kids that are in diapers who are trying to transition out to underwear or they were their big
Oh,
boy or big girl underwear. So when I seen Liam struggling, he was like, "Dad, I want a diaper. Dad, I want a diaper." And I'm like, "Dude, you're getting older. It's okay. I'll put a diaper on now because we get them for free. Yes,
wow.
we get them for free. Um, but also, how do I start encouraging him to do so?" And I was like, "No, what? This is the perfect time to write my book, Adventures of Liam and CT, a book about my son Liam and I." In a book, just trying to teach them and give them incentives to really potty train. And we go to Egypt, and well, I don't go to Egypt. His pet CT, his pet bunny, takes him to Egypt, and he just teaches Liam how to use a golden potty. and Liam is so encouraged. So now that book is written. He's a superhero, so they travel the world and just do adventures every night. So the second book is coming out in about 2 months. And that book will be Adventures with Liam and Friends, How to Tie a Shoe. So I'm just giving all aspects of how to teach kids how to potty train, how to tie shoes, something that we need to see. And also why I use my son is because I want my son to see himself. I want representation matters, and I wanted
Yes.
my son to see himself and feel represented. And it's working. He reads the book. We read the book damn near every night, and now he's getting closer and more comfortable using the potty because he's himself using the bathroom in the book. So now he wants to experiment on his own and do it. And at the end of the book, we have guidelines and tips or rules how to teach your child how to potty train. So yes, that's Liam's Adventures with Liam CT. If you want a book, it's on Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Amazon. Just type in Adventures with Liam and CT. The link will pop up, and definitely show your support. And then with the
Yeah.
book, every book you buy, $1 of that book sale will go to adding changing tables back in restrooms. So it all ties back into one full circle.
Nice. Is this is not your first book, right? Or is this your
This is
first
my
book?
this is my first book that's actually
Oh,
published
this,
and out. Yep,
oh, okay. Wait, is it out already or wait? I thought it was out already. Sorry.
it's out. It's out already. Yes, it's
Out
out. So
already.
it's
Okay.
at Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble. So if you go ahead
Nice.
and if you go to my Instagram account at Donte Palmer Official, it's in my Instagram account, and you can go ahead and find a book and just go ahead and support us.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So I will have all the information down
Mm-hmm.
there, and my last question before we move on to the end of the show question is, what are some of your favorite experiences with this journey so far? And moving forward, what can we expect from you and with the squad for change?
All right, so I think all the big. I mean, like I had a ton of accolades. I mean, being covered on a feature of a magazine, being on the cover of Florida Times Union, interviewing with Forbes, and CNN, having a partnership with Pampers, John Legend on side of me. You would think that would be all my number one picks. I think the number one pick and the thing that really inspired me to move on is when I had one interview. What happened one time in 2 years is when I interviewed with all three of my boys on a set of Philadelphia Fox. And we're on set and they're interviewing. My boys sit next to me on their little Fox couch and we were just talking and they were going crazy. I mean, they were babies. And they were yelling and
Yeah.
screaming and talking. I'm trying to interview, and I was laughing, losing my train of thought. And I was trying to be so professional, but at that moment, I had to realize, say, okay, you know what? I'm answering her questions. They're not the best way I can answer them, but it's the fact that my boys are having a great time. Like this is an experience they would never forget, and it's something I would never forget. So yes, that's when I interviewed 2 years ago at Fox and Friends with my boys in Philadelphia, and that was a memorable moment, and I'll never forget it.
Wow. And moving forward, what can we? Oh, excuse me. Oh, my voice just went out for a minute. Okay, hold on. Okay, and actually, moving forward, then what can we expect from you?
Yeah, so I have an animation coming out called Lemons. It's also about a father son dynamic, how a father lost a job and how the son gives his dad that hope and that power to really find himself as a dad and go find work. So it's lemons because you know what they say: when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. But it also ties back into my story of who I am. Um, if it wasn't for my sons, like I said, I lost my job and I was so doubtful and not knowing where I was, not knowing what I wanted to do. If it wasn't for my sons who saved my life, that's why my boys are my superheroes. That's why I made the book, Liam, eventually Liam and CT. That's why I named him as, looked him at, created him as a superhero. But now I'm also showing how our kids are helping their parents benefit in my new animation Lemons because our kids, and my kids especially, have helped me grow to be a better man. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know where the hell I'll be at. So I give them all the credit in that aspect. So I have animation coming out. I have a new book coming out in 2 months called Adventures with Liam and Friends. That's going to be honored and dedicated to Liam, my niece Diana, and my nephew Carson. Three superheroes changing the world. Um, yeah, I have a book tour in
Oh,
June
okay.
and
Yeah,
July. So
okay.
eight city book tour. I don't know why I forgot that. So we'll be traveling
It's all
to
good. I am your
Philadelphia.
reminder.
Thank you. So we'll be traveling to. We're still in the process of planning and trying to raise money. So we're traveling to Philadelphia, Atlanta, Charlotte, Jacksonville, Chicago, Houston, San Diego,
Oh
and
yes, come to San Diego. I'm in San Diego.
Vegas. San Diego. So you in San Diego?
Yeah,
So
if you
definitely we
let me
we might be,
help.
you
Yes,
can
let
definitely
me
help
help.
us.
Yeah, let
Yes,
me definitely help you out in whatever way you need me to help you out. I am here for you, and
most
I
definitely.
support. I don't have any kids as of now, at least, but I definitely
That's
support
good. So
your
we
cause.
so it's an author for it's a tour for authors, and
Mm,
my goal, my partner's goal is to really highlight authors across the country, children book
wow.
authors who write children's books, and this is a perfect opportunity for us to share their work, also share our
Yeah.
work, and just do it coast to coast. So it's a coast to coast children's book expo. So we'll be
Yeah.
in a city near you in June or July, and I'm excited to give more details.
Yes. One final follow up question about that. Do you have any details yet on how people can donate? Because this episode is
Yes.
gonna come out
So
on second week of March. So that's like,
I had the
yeah.
details too. So we had details solidified by Monday. So we have a GoFundMe that we're about to
Mhm.
push out. We have an Eventbrite to buy tickets for the venues already. We are now getting our venues situated in some cities. So out of the 8 cities,
Yeah.
we have 5 cities secure. Now we're just a
Yeah.
matter of getting that money raised so we can finally get this thing running because people sometimes don't know that tours cost money,
Oh
right?
yeah, it
And I'm
does.
not
Yep.
scared to ask for funding. So we'll get the funding so we can now support each author around the country. And I'm so excited to be a part of this tour.
Yes, and when you come to San Diego, I'm definitely willing to
Almost definitely. We need your
offer
help.
my services for free
Thank you.
to
I
help you
appreciate that.
out.
Thank you.
Because I mean, especially just like representation in general, I'm all about that. So let me be
Absolutely.
there for you.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Most definitely.
yeah. Have you heard of? I'm going on a tangent again, but this is important. Have you heard of Morgan Harper Nichols?
I have not.
She is the author. You're actually the second author that I've interviewed on my channel. So
Okay,
my
awesome.
interview.
And where's she located at?
She's in Arizona right now,
Okay.
but I'm sure you've seen these quotes on Instagram, like these posts, the
Oh yes.
very
Yeah.
yeah. I definitely say reach out to her, let her know what you're doing.
Yeah.
She has a podcast that has a big following, and even though that's the case, she's super approachable.
All right.
Um,
Shoot me her Instagram to my email, and I'll reach out to her.
yeah, no, I will, and let her know that I sent you, so then when I ask her to be on my show, she'll say yes.
Okay. Cool. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well. On that note, we made it to the end of the show, and we are down to the very final question of the question that I usually love to ask everyone. And that question for you is, well, for everyone really, but that is, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind in the world?
The legacy I want to leave behind the world the one thing my boys now I say to my boys every day is our words have power, so let them create. That's what I say to them all the time. My legacy is I want to leave my words behind, my work behind. So now my boys can grow up and walk into that and know that, that dad cared about them, that dad loved them, that dad, showed up for them. So that's the legacy I want to live, to do my best while I'm on earth so my children and my children's children can sit back and say, what, my grandfather and my father, worked his ass off for so we can benefit from it. So that's the legacy I want to leave. Just a guy that appreciated words, loved words, and left his words behind to benefit other people in his household, but to potentially around the world. Because we have a global campaign, so I want to
Yes.
benefit fathers and moms across the world. So that's what we're doing.
This is definitely the time for that,
Yeah.
and the time for all the changes that need to happen. So we're all super proud of what you're doing and what you stand for, and really thank you for coming on the show. And
Thank you.
yeah. So on that note, thank you everyone for watching the Soul Supremacy podcast, where we talked about all things unapologetic, all things passion, and in pursuit of. And see you at the next episode next Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. There you go. Thank you.
This podcast show is a product of Studio Penguino. For more information about advertising, please visit www.adrianpenguino.com.